Britain's House of Commons, where the Burmese disaster was discussed. It was here that the International Development Secretary, Douglas Alexander, took the opportunity to tell all politicians exactly what was occurring on the ground.
The situation in the disaster zone of the Irrawaddy Delta is rapidly deteriorating, largely and tragically because of the inadequacy of the Burmese regime's response. People are dying now, not because of a natural disaster, but because a disaster is being turned into a man-made catastrophe. In Burma, the state media is reporting that there are some 28,500 people dead, some 1,400 people injured, and more than 33,000 people missing. However, we believe the true figures to be far greater. I have spoken only this morning to Rurik Marsden, the head of the Department for International Development's office in Rangoon, and some agencies in the field are now estimating that the number of dead and missing is rising to more than 200,000 people. At least 1.5 million people are in need of assistance. For 300,000 of these people, the need is desperate, indeed urgent. The likelihood of widespread infectious disease as a consequence is increasing fast. The initial risks are diarrhoea and waterborne disease. One aid agency to whom we have spoken reports that 1/5 of children they have reached already have diarrhoea. In time, there will be an increased risk of the spread of malaria due to the large amounts of standing water following the cyclone. There have been some signs in recent days that the amount of aid reaching Burma is increasing. As of Monday, just 35 flights had arrived in the course of the preceding week. In contrast, 2 US military flights arrived in Rangoon this morning, along with 8 aid flights, and we expect a total of 23 flights to arrive in the course of today. One of the 8 aid flights to arrive this morning was carrying United Kingdom assistance, 36 tonnes of plastic sheeting, which is enough to provide shelter for many thousands of people. That shipment was consigned directly to the United Nations World Food Programme, not, of course, the government of Burma, and distribution within Burma will now be taken forward. 4 further UK aid flights are expected to fly out this week, with shelter, blankets, as well as flat-bottom boats to help those most in need.
He also gave details of the continuing diplomatic pressure on the Burmese authorities.
We and others, including Burma's regional friends such as China, India and Thailand, all agree that the Burmese government must open up to international assistance. I have spoken to the Chinese ambassador in London, and our ambassador in Beijing is lobbying the Chinese government directly. As the most important friends of the Burmese regime, they have to ensure that the aid begins to flow and the experts are allowed to start their work. The Foreign Secretary is in dialogue with his Chinese, Thai, Indonesian, Malaysian, Australian, American and French counterparts. The noble Lord Malloch Brown and my Parliamentary Under-Secretary, the Honourable Member for Dewsbury, are today on the ground in Bangkok, both assessing the coordination of the regional effort and meeting the Thai Prime Minister to press the case for action. Over the weekend, I requested the European Union Presidency and Commission convene a meeting to galvanise the European Union's efforts in response to the crisis. This British initiative met with support, and yesterday I was in Brussels to meet with European development ministers. The conclusion of that meeting reinforced the statements made by the United Nations in support of increasing access, and the European Development Commissioner, Louis Michel, is now travelling to the region to press the views expressed by the Council yesterday.
Diplomatic efforts are being stepped up to resolve the access issue in Burma.